Hello, good morning. Yay, let's do this thing. Woohoo! Right? How's everybody doing today? Hopefully well. So, I've rambled on about the elements. There is a next step once you get into the I've connected to the elements, I've breathed the elements in, I feel the elements. It becomes a pact, a bond, a seal that gets created, right? So what you can do then is you can take a little drop of your blood and into the element it goes. Something like, I forge by the traditions of the past. I forge by the rights of the living blood. Do bond hence to this elemental source. Let my will be manifest as it is bound by this pact I forge that we become as one. It shall be of me, and I shall be of it, and our will shall be as one. I make this covenant of my element, and I make this at the twilight of the dawn, at the noon, and at the setting sun, in the midnight hour, that in this and every hour the covenant of bond shall be eternal. And so what does that mean? Does that mean you need to do this at dawn? Does that mean that you need to do it at midnight, and at the setting sun, and at every single hour of the day at some point in your life? Yes, it does, as a matter of fact. That means 12 hours of the day, 12 hours of the night, 24 pricks of finger blood, and then 28 moons, etc. for 12 months. No, you do it once. If you create the circle, you bend the land, essentially. So what I mean by that is you create your space, and you put the elemental representation that you're going to be creating a spirit attachment to. Your spirit is attaching to that element, so you've got a vessel that represents the perfect aspect of that element. So it could be a cauldron of fire, it could be a cauldron full of river water or ocean water, it could be a cauldron of rainwater, it could be an incense that you've created, it could be one of those things. And you're sitting there and you're meditating with it, and you're calling the spirit of that energy out. You're calling out its innermost being from that thing. And you're creating a relationship with it. You know how it moves inside of you. You know how you would move inside of it. You like swimming around, right? Like the heat of the fire would burn your ass, so don't do that. But if you're in water, it'd be like swimming. It'd be like floating and drifting if you're on air, right? You want to connect to the element and its behavior, how it makes you feel, how it feels as a response, okay? So, just to get a little bit more in depth on that, there's the yin aspect to it, and then there's the yang aspect to it. So the yin stuff is stuff that is generative, it's the internal, it's the subconscious state. So that for the earth, right? So the earth establishes a need to produce something. It gives sensations. It puts spirits into matter. Its yang aspect organizes ambition. It's systematic, steady, enduring, methodical, and thorough. It's practical stuff, right? Its yin state is going to be unimaginative. It's negative. It's unyielding. It's dull. It's sluggish. It's compulsive. It's anxious. It's formal. It's greedy. It's those things that you are yourself, or you could be yourself, that you have to recognize. And when you forge the pact with the bond of the spirits, or the spirit of the elemental, then you're understanding that you have these things within you. You have these things inside you. You are working with these things. They are aspects of your own personality that make manifest the behaviors of the elements, or the elemental qualities. For the air has a need for social and intellectual changes. It's thinking, it's objective, right? Its yang state is going to be intellectual, mental, rational, detached, logical, conceptual, engaging, knowledgeable, right? Yin is overly intellectual. It's cut off from feeling. It's ungrounded. It's distant. It's insensitive. It's unrealistic. It's too airy, right? Fire's behavior. Its energies to action. The need for pure expression. Action, the life force, pure energy. Yang's interaction is going to be creative. It's expressive. It's confident. It's proud. It's exuberant. It's enthusiastic, it's zealous, it's joyful, it's assertive, bold, spirited, right? I like fire a lot. But its yin aspect means it's willful, it's arrogant, it's insensitive, it's overwhelming, it's aggressive, it's rash, it's impulsive, it's impatient, it's fanatical. So again, you have these behaviors within you that you could be, but by nature and your default, you aim not to be. you balance them out. Your personality seeks to engender the communion between what is the extremes of both, right? Like you want that middle road. You want that balance when you're not doing magic, when you're not doing those behavioral things. So when you're including those elements in your practice, when you're summoning up the spirit of fire and you need it to be creative, you need to have it tempered a little bit more than if you were going to just be willful. Boom, right? With water, it's the motivation for emotional connections, feeling connected, joining, movement towards something, the consistent flow, the road whose course does not turn back, right? The river is never the same when you step in it twice, right? It's like you can step in the same spot, but it won't be the same water, it won't be the same stones and all of it is different. It's changing. So its yang state is an open, unifying, absorbing, it's anything psychic, yielding, it's assimilating, and it's awareness. But its yin state means it's easily hurt. It's the victim mentality that you have, the chaotic, the unclear, the confused, the unstable, the destructive, just throwing your stuff around like a typhoon, right? Like when you identify these kinds of behaviors and you're channeling the energies and the spirits and the calling to them, right? You have to feel what it's like to feel those elements. So if you can feel within you what is the motivation for emotional connection, what is the unifying or the absorbing quality of what you have to go through when you make a summons. So, like, you're going to conjure rain. Let's use this as an example. As earth is earth, as earth is air, as earth is fire, and as earth is water, I call to the spirits of rain. As air is air, as air is earth, as air is fire, and as air is water, I call to the spirits of rain. As fire is fire, as fire is earth, as fire is water, and as fire is air, I call to the spirits of rain. As water is water, as water is earth, as water is air, and as water is fire, I call to the spirits of rain. Come forth from the heavens above, and let the rains flow down. Open the gates, and come forth, my friends. That is what I've used since high school to bring rain. Now, I can't say it's going to work for everybody, because you might not have the same relationship I do. But the last time I said that thing, like, I did a video filming it, and it was really funny because it rained that night. So we'll see what this is about to do, because I don't think rain is supposed to be on the forecast in San Diego. Makes it fun when it rains in California, because, you know, drought season. But at different times of the year, at different elevations, that particular spell caused a different type of effect. I was in Albuquerque one year, visiting my folks when my dad lived out there, and I was in the northeast foothills by the foothills by the Sandias, and that's an elevation higher than downtown. So downtown it rained, it snowed in the foothills. Straight up, like, I oopsed and it made it snow. I fucking hate driving in the snow. So needless to say, I was not a happy camper that day. But, you know, when it comes to elemental manipulation, when it comes to the elemental connections, if you're trying to elicit an energetic response in somebody and you need to piss somebody off in order to get a fire quality out of them, do it. If you need to balance an earthy quality, you need to get them calm. So you have to say words that will cause calming sensations. So you have to play with those relationships a little bit better. You have to balance out the conditions of those energies so that way what you do and how you do it actually causes the effect and the behavioral changes in the subject that you're working on. So if you're using it in, like I use it for business and sales techniques, if I'm trying to understand who these people are, what they're doing, and they're like all about their astrological sign, it's great. Their astrological sign has elemental behaviors to it. So the conversations that you have, you can play around with your words in those behavior patterns. You can modify your words accordingly so that way you elicit an interesting response based on the nature and the quality that that person already has inborn into them through the time that they came into this planet, right? So just food for thought, and I hope everybody has a fantastic afternoon, and I will chat with y'all later. Bye for now.